Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 45 of Rannoch, our vanilla Boreal CS1 build. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Just hanging out, enjoying the views across Claiborne Bird Reserve, where we can see a number of birds now actually. Isn't that thematic? We've got 4 of them there in shot, 5. Goodness me. It's a herd, isn't it? Or a flock, I suppose, is the correct terminology now. But either way today everyone, the city enters its quote, late game phase. 81 tiles has opened, and today we get to tick off the first of what is going to be many exciting projects as the map kind of rounds to completion really over the next 15 to 20 episodes probably. I reckon we have left in Rannoch at this point, given how much buildable space there actually is, of course. Much smaller than Orchid Bay was, so I don't think we'll run for nearly as long as Orchid Bay did here. But today's episode has already been named after one of our wonderful Golden Egg patrons, Spartan Angel, who indeed has just upgraded himself to a Golden Egg after 4 years of patron support at a lower tier. So thank you so much, Spartan. If you want to go ahead and get involved in that, links down below. There's podcast editing egg. We'll probably throw in the Patreon ad at this point in the edit. And if you'd like to get more from the channel, check out the Patreon linked below. There you can directly support my videos and get your name listed at the end of the content. Receive early access to videos when possible, extra previews, screenshots, shoutouts, save files, and a wonderful community from as little as £2 per month, plus access to the exclusive Patreon podcast Eggs on Toast, where you can listen to me interview some of your favourite creators. Welcome onto the podcast for you, Candy.
Thank you for having me.
Joined by the enigma that is Satyapanna Plays. Satyapanna, welcome to the podcast, mate.
Thank you so much, Egg. Happy to be here.
Joined by the one and only Biffa.
Hello, how you doing?
Massive shout out to the patrons that support these videos. Let's get back to today's build. But either way, Angel is the new town that is going to occupy the valley in the first of our 821 tower projects. So we also have some resource here. What is this? It's oil. So I have some ideas of how I might want to use that as well. Either way, let's sketch out some road frames and start to plan in some sort of town centre stuff here. So in terms of where I think the bulk of the town will lie, then we'll have a lot of our services, parks up on the waterfront, right? It's going to make a lot of sense. We'll get some ferries moving today as well. And then we'll have some fun with suburbia out this way, right? So with the oil, I would love to have this as though it's kind of the remnants of an old industry, right? Before kind of big oil came into the city. The refinery that you can see over there in the far distance, right? You can see the oil rigs. You know, that place kind of put this local kind of refinery and drilling area out of business, if you like. So let's run with that. So I have this road come all the way through here, and we can probably link this back in with the highway road actually. I reckon that's going to be a good idea. Now before we do this, we want to talk about the train station, because I do want one here. It's going to make sense, isn't it? In terms of how we get it in, it's going to be a little bit awkward, but I think we can probably do it here. Although we will need to terraform this mountain ridge a little bit, but we'll make it look natural come the end. Again, awkward terraform projects, always bear with it. They will come together in the final minute. I just want to open this little flat space here so I can essentially introduce this as part of the town. Get some level crossings up here too, probably. See what we're like for traffic. I don't want this town to get too big, too busy. Very much another rural town as the one we created a few weeks ago, right? So it takes out, let's do our dirt road trick. I'm pretty sure the Seaside Resort train station is 4 units deep. Probably got that wrong, but we'll find out, I'm sure. There we go. I'm much happier with that, I think. And then let's bring those rails back in. Shouldn't be too hard to reinstall. That's way too short, really. Let's just reassess where this tunnel will lie. You just want to connect straight into tunnel like that. I think that's the best thing there. We don't want too many short segments there. We can end up having issues with stuck sims and whatnot. And we'll absolutely accept intercity trains here too. In terms of train traffic, this line isn't the busiest anyway, because there's not tons of train this side of the strait. Most of the train action is on the north side. So it shouldn't get too busy to the point we're getting serious train logs, but we'll keep an eye on it regardless. So let's bring our train station into play. Right, I'm going to use these content creator roads pretty much all through the city, which shout out to Instant Gaming if you don't have them. Definitely pick up bridges and piers. It's one of the better creator packs CS1 received. With the road on the approach into the station, I'd like some grass line in here, I think possible tree lining as well. And then we'll just let those natural grids take shape where we change our city here. Just feed these up. I might end up reducing some of the content creator roads, but we'll see what happens with them really. So this establishes initial connections. Will we have room here for a level crossing? That does not look remotely right, does it? You okay? Yes. Oh, I wonder if that's the content creator road. Is it really? No. I wonder if it's a bridge segment. It could be. Okay, level crossing definitely not then if that's the case. We'd also like to have this connect to the national road as well, because if we are going to have that oil derrick here, which I think we'll talk about first because I'm quite interested in building the town around that old oiled industry, which I think the seaside resort assets will probably help complement that too. So let's get it set up. Let's bring ourselves in. I think we probably will use industrial road, and we can really factor this in from the town centre too, you know. So we'll have that there. Let's grab some basic oil industry, and we just want the regular main building. Shame it's not a bit smaller. I could steal another oil area, but I think given the law we set at the start, we'll have to name it. And I guess if it's Angel, let's do Spartan Oil, right? The second half of our wonderful patron's name. Massive thanks for your support, Spartan, over the years, my friend. You've been around for just a long, long time. July 2021 you joined Patreon, so thank you for not only being around for that long, but then also upgrading your membership as well. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. I hope this town is worthy of the name today. Got an animal? Wolf. There we go. Fantastic. Oil wolf is here. And then just some really simple, very basic oil assets. Let's bring this out over the peninsula. We could also extend it down the other ones as well. We'll see what happens. I might also be tempted to do that there as well, you know. And then just bring some offshoots off this road. Very basic small industry here. And I think I just want to keep it small little mini oil derricks, right? Have those there. Keep them in sets of 2. And then let's come into our fencing. Snapping into the grid will be handy here. And I just want to bring these around really and make these little isolated sites. Feel free to go ahead and paint the regular zoned industry over this area too. As that industry will spawn in as oil props, which will really help with detail. We can always pull out find it as well if we want to get a bit more sort of prop heavy with some of the work, then we can work in some of the vanilla props. Make sure we're also using the right fence here as well. There we go. Some overgrowth I think against the rivers will be welcome. Try and isolate that wolf there on the peninsula if we can. And I hope everyone's having a happy Monday as well if you're watching this, or indeed a happy any day of the week. Every day as you tune in for your Vanilla City Skylines fix, right? And let's bring in some more of that. Some more of the Boreal Forest, I think. Some of this stuff. Maybe just on the tip there too. Okay. So you'll see some stuff like that spawning, which is going to be massively helpful. Right, isn't that fantastic? Please. So perfect, so that's really all I'm thinking, and then from the town centre, which we'll position, you know, around the waterfront here, and these squares can develop into whatnot. Very happy with that, very tasteful. And we can develop a few more of these little orbital old oil derricks that are still lingering around from years gone by, right? That are just about clinging on why Mega Oil across the strait puts them out of business. So it's not a good time to be a local oil derrick owner in Angel, as it turns out. But either way, let's talk about a unique building to form our town centre here. So I think the obvious choices for kind of cute, friendly town centre is we can throw in friendly neighbourhood park here, which is going to look really nice. And then let's bring in some fancier roads. Don't want tons of car parking around here, so roads that do not allow said parking is really what I'm looking for. I think I also wouldn't mind throwing in that next plaza as well here. The other level 2 one. Fountain of Life and Death. Let's have that slightly offset there maybe. And then bring this back down. Now in terms of specializations here, there's a number of options we can go for. For the suburban look, I think I can probably go with green cities. But for the town centre itself, its assets, I actually think emerging downtown, using some of the older style buildings is actually the better shout for the town centre here. Now, I also want to mix in some of the older buildings from the Uniques as well. Mountain Village and Seaside Resorts, both present here, I think. And I think we could possibly even tie in that Golden Pavilion building to the waterfront here. If it won't be a pain for once. It doesn't snap to the waterfront anyway. Yeah, we'll have a look at that later. But lots of big sort of hotels, old style hotels around here. Let's have one right on the corner. Lots of different styles here as well, so let's keep scrolling back and forth. Let's get one of these big, long Chungus hotels in. I reckon one of these nice porch ones here. Let's keep mixing and matching it too. Let's do mountain resorts. Wouldn't mind some of the older lodges here. Love to find an asset to fill this space quite nicely on the front there. You know what? And there it is. Just as I ask, CS delivers. Wonderful. Can't draw out of this one, can we? We can't. That's okay though. We'll just run a fun little central path design through here. Also landscaping and gardens as we really embellish the town centre. Of course, it won't be a town centre without some public transport. And then with the train being a little bit further away, I reckon we can probably make use of a little bus terminus around here somewhere. But let's make this part of the town centre as well, probably to converge with the ferries, so let's have a look at that now as well. And let's also get some stuff zoning. Let's do you want to set green cities as the residential, or do we want European suburbia? Do we actually want two separate districts here? I do like green cities, and we already have a ton of European suburbia in the city. All of Ashby Gardens, all down here, this side of the city is all European suburbia. Don't know, I need to refresh my mind with green cities, low density. I think this stuff looks quite nice in the Boreal setting, doesn't it? Right, imagine it'd be quite an expensive place to live out here as well. Out in the country, right? Definitely one of the lower crime rates in Rannoch out in Angel. Which is already looking so cool, isn't it? Really looking forward to piecing this place together today. Regardless, but we can always amend a second district later if we want it. So we'll try some residential and commercial merging downtowns here, and then we'll see how that works out for us. And with our attentions turning to ferries, we do have the ferry depot in, don't we? We do, we just haven't used it yet. So let's introduce ferries to Rannoch for the first time. So I think with this being quite isolated, it's worthy of a pretty substantial ferry presence. So let's do ferry pier, because I'm pretty sure buses can also stop here, can't they? Wasn't there a transit hub with bus and ferry? I'm almost certain there is. Let me find this. Yeah, this one here. The ferry and bus exchange stop is the one I'm thinking of. So, can we snap that to the road? You will, but you want a shoreline, which is fair enough, given the fact you're a ferry. How do I want this positioned here? Am I happy with that? Yeah, I think we can factor that slope in, and then we can work in a one-way route here as well for the buses, which will be quite fancy. So let's bring an end to our content creator road at the town centre here. And then we'll switch to a one-way configuration. And again, to avoid parking, we'll do our own. Let's do the wide sidewalks. And then with the guideline, let's just hit the curve tool and do a bit bigger than 8, maybe 10. What are we thinking of? And then we'll do half of that this side. Let's do 5. And then 8. That'll give us a slightly more interesting shape as well. We can probably work in some really nice parks in this particular section as well. Cool. And that'll bring a really nice edge to the town here. I'd also like this road to continue though, almost as like a bit of a sort of frontage to this road actually. Let's bring that in. How are we feeling about this stuff here? Yeah, so maybe not so much this stuff actually, maybe let that level up a little bit. But I don't mind these here. Maybe not next door to Seaside Resorts though. I'll see how we feel about that. Let's send this on the way into town. Some of these apartments, condos, let's get commercial in there as well, and we'll save the town centre for some more of those historical buildings as well. So where are we going to set the first ferry stop up? I would like to have a wider session on ferries at some point as part of the playlist for Rannoch. So we won't do too much today, but we can definitely get the first ferries flowing. So immediately my senses tell me, this is a little bit busy, isn't it? But It would be cool if you could get the ferry from downtown here, especially since it's so close to the metro hub as well. I think it'd be pretty easy to just integrate here, wouldn't it, as part of the waterfront. It's a bit dangerous though with all the cruise lines, isn't it? I think perhaps then, as part of this area here where we did the stadium last episode, and then when we come to do ferries citywide and all up and down the strait, that's when we'll integrate that ferry hub into the rest of sort of the downtown centre over there, right? So for right now, we'll just send it here. And let's get these connected. So that is one line complete. Now eventually this ferry line will obviously run kind of in a big loop all the way around the strait, stopping at a number of different ferry hubs that we'll build in that episode. But until that point it can just run back into here from Prestes Hills up to Angel with the ferry. So we'll see how busy that gets, right? That should be quite an interesting little experiment there. As the second part of our public transport escapade, let's bring in some buses. So we've got train station up here, which we need to formulate really. So if we're going to bring buses in, let's do some... Do you want some bus only action? I think it could be on the cards. Let's do some pedestrian road this way, right? And then with the roads at the front, we can just keep these happy median roads. Just end that there. Cool, so now they have a place to come, turn around. And we'll probably send some buses back actually out on the country road as well. How are we feeling about this stuff? Yeah, all this is great, right? Let's get a lot of this historical. This is exactly sort of the vibe I'm after. This lower level emerging downtown stuff is perfect. Don't want the stuff that's too modern. So all this level 1 stuff, ideal, right? Absolutely ideal. Get some more commercial in the town centre as well, right? We want this to actually feel like it is a town centre. Let's get that growing. There we go. I'll have a look at services after the buses as well. Realise I'm getting distracted with zoning. Yes, so we'll have a little local town shuttle here. This will come back into from the bus hub up this way. And this can just be a very simple line, I think. Just a simple shuttle back into. And then we'll have other buses leave from this depot over here, right? Let's come to this one. So this is the Angel train town shuttle. And I just want this to be the little minibus. This one here. And then we'll do another bus line. That also comes through the town centre, but then goes back on the highways, like kind of like a National Express sort of coach, which will make much higher capacity. So we'll have that there. It can come up and into the town centre. I could also actually send it up to the train station, which I am going to, I think. It can then stop again in town, and then it gets on the highway. It can't stop here. This is all high speed, or it doesn't need to stop there. It can stop at the port as it comes through. Holy crap, we've got some traffic here, haven't we, boys? Alright. Is it just the traffic light slowing you down? Ah, do you know what? I bet this is all the new people coming to move in, isn't it? Yeah, that's what it'll be. It'll calm down. It'll be fine. Absolutely stop at the port. And then do we have any bus infrastructure here? No, not really. Let's send it to a transit hub then. The nearest one is the one at the Omar Mall. So let's send it here then. You can meet with... What road do we want to send you on? How do you turn around there? Yeah, okay, you can turn around using this road here. Come and stop outside all of this metro action. And then we can send it back to Angel. Fantastic. And we'll get that named as well. That'll be bus line 11. And we'll make that to the Angel to Omar National Coach. And then we'll make this a big vehicle. We'll do double-decker bus, right? Let's make it like National Express coach is white. I think they are, aren't they? I can't remember now. It's been a long time since I've caught a National Express coach. Yeah, all this. Absolutely perfect, everyone. Fantastic. Fantastic. What a pack. Absolutely incredible, isn't it? Let's keep mix and matching those other buildings through here too. Let's get one of those in. and maybe a bit more seaside resorts. Perhaps a touch further out of town. Oh yes, we wanted to do the pavilion, didn't we? We did indeed. But why don't we have this here then, right? Let's have it. So which one do we want now? Should we go for the bigger one? Yeah, let's do the bigger one. And then we can use this as another really nice kind of park waterfront space. Just bring that up to the connection there. And then we'll have it all the way down to the shoreline here as well, I reckon. It should look really good once we get some assets around here. Ferries starting to pile up. 23 in a week. Looking forward to those buses turning up. How's it doing over at the other side? Anyone waiting? There is people waiting. Look at that. Hello, people. Interesting. I reckon we can end up making ferries quite powerful. We might do that next episode, actually, you know. Go into a massive ferry development. We'll build several different ferry transit hubs, which will be a lot of fun. Much more of a sort of a modular build episode, really. I think we'll do that next week. But ferries are coming and going. Playing chicken with the cruise liners and cargo ships that fly down the Rannoch Strait. It's okay there. Wonderful. Yeah, so I'm happy with that there. Let's also begin to create this little park space through here too. In terms of other residential, let's begin to get some of these guys zoned in as well. A lot of this stuff over here, I envision just as simple outer-lying population mixed in with some parks. We'll get some nice fountains around here and whatnot. Plazas and promenade stuff. There's lots of little areas to look at through here. So I am going to need, yeah, if I want green cities, I'm going to have to make it a separate district anyway, aren't I? That's fine though. We can just separate them out here. So essentially we'll have the Spartan town centre here, and then this outer line district which will run with a separate specialisation. Which then again, I think European suburbia would look really nice in this, but it would almost look quite Alpsy, I think, wouldn't it? We're going to do it. I know we do it all the time, but goodness me, it's good. I really like European suburbia housing. Pretty much perfect. Cool. So that can all grow through there. I'm happy with that. Let's turn our attention now to services. So of course we want to do content creator stuff. Country Medical Centre. I reckon it'll look nice there. We'll also do Mountain Resort Medical Centre as well. Let's also do the Mountain Fire Station. We'll have that one here. In town. Also want to bring this road to a close as well, don't we, really? Let's begin to differentiate the road network here a touch. Let's do some no parking roads as we come out of the town centre. Then this can just go back, following the curve of the river, back into there. Let's get some more residential rocking up around here as well. Getting some demands for workers. How are we doing for educations? Pretty good, although these guys are miles away from education, so we probably will run into education issues here. It's fine though, it will eventually subside, of course. Loving this, people waiting at the bus stop right outside the centralised hotel view here. That's going to be a really sweet town centre vibe, isn't it? And then police, last but certainly not least, of course. Let's do Countryside Police Station, let's have this. Oh, it's going to sit and fit? Yeah, it's going to sit and fit, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that. Wonderful. Have all our services. Let's take a little walk down Main Street, shall we? I mentioned last episode, I just wanted this place to be, yeah, like these really old style porches right up on the street there. All the brick textures making themselves known. Yeah. Really sweet. The wood paneling actually works very nicely there. So the emerging downtowns pack just snuggles in so nicely next to Mountain Village and Countryside, doesn't it? And Seaside Resort, sorry. Really just gives a totally different aesthetic, doesn't it? Totally different to anything you can achieve with vanilla zoning, at least. Very nice indeed. That's a very big white bus, isn't it? Like the white elephant. It's okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's a National Express coach. it's got tourists on it. And then our train station is hopefully nice and active too. Is indeed. I wouldn't mind. This is part of Sterling Hills, isn't it? Which we'll rename to Angel Hills, which sounds like a suburb of Los Angeles, doesn't it? We'll have that there. And then I want to give Green Cities commercial to this, actually. And then we can have some really nice little kind of local market vibes around here, I think. With Green Cities. So let's get lots of that around the train station, I think. All through here as well. This will be fantastic. We will need... then again, depends what side of the road they grow on. We might not need pedestrian area here. We'll see if they complain anyway. And then the tree for upgrading. Let's do something fancy. Birch lined. Up to the train station there. Right. See back to the town centre from here as well. I think this is shaping up, guys, to be like my favourite rural town ever. Which I know is a big claim because we've done some nice ones. Clawson and Palaven was a very strong shot, wasn't it? Oh, it does want a pedestrian area. Did you have to grow that way? You're like the perfect asset as well. It's fine. They're not the cheapest things in the world at the pedestrian areas. Actually might sit quite nicely next door there, right? I guess if we do want other pedestrianisation, maybe on the waterfront, we can steal it here, can't we? Cool. Well, that's perfect, right? That little organic stalls one and then the fast and nutritious just next door. Perfect sort of town centre assets. Wonderful. Really like that. Fun little configuration with the train there. And the little bus turnaround as well. Are we getting areas go up here? Yes, we are. Let's also scatter some parks around this area as well. And we'll definitely use some of the tourism stuff. Things like the ponds. Let's have that. Doesn't fit and sit, it's fine. We'll have that on the corner. We should probably scatter some schools as well, shouldn't we? Otherwise, at least elementary, I think, at the bare minimum. So let's do community school. Let's have this on the corner over here. And now if I can grab one of those little tourism parks again. I'm going to place 2 of them here, and maybe some car parking too. I want to see if we can make this whole little back area here a little bit of a kind of school campus design, if you like. Have that in there. Let's run some suburban fence as well. And we'll probably work in some props into this space. It'll be quite nice. And then let's just line these up. Let's bring that right down to the front. I won't be able to... Oh, I very nearly can actually, you know. Oh yeah, I can. Perfect. I can cut in front of those assets then, which very much makes them look much more like the part of this school here. Let's trim that out, and then let's do some fun little trees, just to give shade and hide some of our more awkward edges that we're not particularly happy with. Cool, and then let's just jump in to find it. Some simple prop work will always be needed here, filter for parts. And then just some swing sets, sandbox, bench or 2 near the assets. A couple more over here as well perhaps, and then some simple playground perhaps. Merry-go-round, a couple of seesaws, and the other slide. And then maybe some smaller bushes. Just on the inside as well. Cool. And that gives that space a bit more sort of design, I think, there, doesn't it? Right. Definitely looks just like the play fields of a school in the area there, doesn't it? I'm happy with that. It's going to help break up the high street a little bit too. Wonderful, but otherwise, I think we're in a pretty decent place for a detailing time-lapse. Just want to go ahead and fill out the rest of the residential, and there's lots of little green space to develop here with pathways and props and whatnot, parks and plazas, gazebos, viewpoints over here. And then we'll also leave the simulation running and then come back in to check on exactly how busy the ferries are getting. Do you actually want to discuss ferry model before we go into that time lapse? I think it is a possibility. I think we'll go for max capacity. Yeah, I think we will. 129 in a week isn't bad. I know the buses are probably really contributing to that. But look how many people are actually getting on the bus there. It's proving to be quite a little popular route back to the Omar stop, isn't it? Let's go check how many people are waiting there. Sorry, I know we need to do some detailing this episode. It's probably going to be a long one. I apologise for absorbing your entire Monday in a Rannoch episode. But yeah, this is pretty busy as well, right? How many people coming out the metro straight away just waiting for that bus? Has that traffic calmed down? It's busy through here, isn't it? Well, not because these have got access to the airfield here now, you know. I bet it is, isn't it? Probably. I mean, oh, they're doing this stupid thing, aren't they? I hate when they get stuck like that. I guess they're just still staggering onto the line, aren't they? So we can make do with it. And I guess I suppose I don't mind a busy port. It is maybe. It's not gridlocked though, is it? It is busy though. It won't take tons more. Maybe that'll be an experiment to come back and see what the ferries are like over here once we're done. What sort of traffic's coming down? Taxis, a lot of vans and vehicles. It's pretty mixed really, isn't it? I think maybe the industrial traffic might be adding to that pressure. But it's not an overly busy area regardless, is it? Either way, that's a problem for future egg, but today's egg needs to detail up our brand new rural town of Angel. So let's do that, and then we'll be right back. guys, let's have a look across the brand new town of Angel, which I think I'm going to go ahead on a whim and say this is my favourite rural town we have ever done in any city. Big claim, I know. In terms of what's going to happen down here, I think we'll save this for some more unique projects. Some kind of mountain research station up here, perhaps some kind of geology station right up in the mountains, once we kind of need some more awkward builds to do. So don't take the town too much further up into the valley. We'll definitely have some more quirky infrastructure out here at some point. But either way, lots of European suburbia. We have some really nice commercial configurations around the train station. I've also slightly amended the route of the shuttle. You'll see it passing through. I can at all find it. There we go. Wave the bus stop. So that one comes through. That stops much more frequently than the National Express coach. So that moves through here now. There you go. See all the little buses. There's pathways and landscaping around the entrance to the town, and I really love all the layering here. Super nice, isn't it? The entrance into the town is just fantastic. Pathway up and down here to the train station, saving having to walk all the way around here. And then lots of green cities commercial and trees tucked in here too. The National Road takes over here with a bit of a overgrown wooden fence as you come into the town, with the junction actually handling the traffic quite nicely. I've not actually checked back at the port since we did the other recording, but it's moving. I could probably make it a lot busier just by turning off these lights. Sorry, a lot quicker by turning the lights off, but as long as it's keeping moving through the interchange, I don't mind the volume, right? It's when it gets gridlocked is when we need to start panicking. So a very busy port road again, all of a sudden, of course, with people having access to this road down here as well. I guess it does back up a little bit there, doesn't it? But I suppose it is just a traffic light at the end of the day, isn't it? Either way, beyond that, back into the town. That National Road heads off down there, which we'll get to. I've done another little oil site over here as well, just basic zoning, some rock walls here to kind of protect the site from the river, with some more oil industry, and a workers' barracks in here as well. All fenced off just at the edge of a residential road there, right? Just kind of old industry now factored into the town. Same thing over here as well. We had some sewage warnings during the D10 time lapse, so partnered that with some garbage collection, basic services for the town and wider city, with what we did in the episode present here as well. Just that older, just about still running oil industry in the little centre of town there. And it's really just kind of giving the town such a unique vibe, you know. Kind of reminds me of Williams in Ilos, for those that watched that, where we had the forestry really integrated into the town. And this is a similar sort of vibe there, right? Park space on these little headlands that made themselves known, where we also have a high school campus here as well, using the high school countryside asset, which is really nice. Perfect sort of setting for this building, isn't it? With a cricket pitch behind it for the high school kids. That just sits out here on the edge of town as well. Before we arrive at some seaside resorts action on the waterfront with the pavilion, bit of an airport apron at the front where people are walking up, just so it wasn't kind of weird and grassy. Bit more of a purpose-built entrance to a historical building. And then there's more seaside resort assets down here too before we arrive at a little cul-de-sac with a gazebo which has wonderful views across the Strait of Rannoch to the downtown as well. Hang around for the nighttime cinematics as well today. I'm sure that'll be very nice. A very nice view indeed. And then a bridge back over up into the town centre, which drops us off at the ferry terminal, which is getting some decent news. 139 in a week, in fact. With some people waiting for the ferry. And then on the other side of the city, we also have 136 over here as well, which is very tidy, with about 12 people using the ferry line. So I think once we expand that across, I mean, let's kind of just map out some initial ferry transport sites, so when we do that ferry episode. Definitely one here, I think, in line with the trams and the ferry terminal. Sorry, metro terminal. I think that'll be really good. And there's certainly just every major stop kind of along this road, right? Another one at the town centre transport hub there. Definitely not around the oil industry, I don't think. Although I do want to bring a cargo port over here, like a harbour, which might be quite fun. And then we can definitely get some ferry action in, probably right next door to the boat hotel in Atlantic City, actually. Again, there's great metro convergence here, as you see that metro leading Sims over there. So that'll be another good spot for it as well. And then the other towns along the rich one as well, right? We can get one up at Wesley, up at Stratford. So all this can receive ferry action. So it seems to be one big ferry loop running both directions around the whole strait at some point. But we'll have some fun designing some ferry transport hubs at the same time, either way, for that episode. Beyond that, some more of this mixed-use residential commercial vibe. As we take a walk down Main Street, oh yeah, sorry, also some landscaping at the front of the transport hub up here as well. And you can see some people arrive, they all go different directions, although important point, none of them are driving, which is great to see. So I love that. And then I walk down Main Street, the emerging downtown just mixed in really nicely, just kind of the older vibe, the brick, the wood paneling. Great example there, right? Seaside resorts and emerging downtown just behind. They're a real complement to each other. So it's really helped me just instill that older town vibe around here, right? Hotels, buses stopping here too. Really wonderful, all those town plazas have settled in really nicely around the river, and I hope you can see why it has led to one of my favourite rural towns we've ever done. Either way, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. A massive shout out to the patrons and YouTube members that support these videos, with a roll call to our amazing golden egg patrons: Andrew Perez, Bad Wolf, Casino, Darius, Lara Roberts, Louis Adlam, Phoenix MD, Spartan Angel, and Wesley Kip. If you want to get involved in that, links down below. Instant Game Patreon, best ways to support the channel, if indeed you so wish. Let me know what you think of this one. Does this stand up as one of your favourite OE rural towns you've ever done in CS1? It certainly does for me. It's a super unique blend of assets, a really nice little compact town centre with the river and the old industry. Thoroughly enjoyed this episode and build, so thanks for watching it if you have indeed made it this far. Otherwise, please do enjoy the cinematics, but I'll shut up and leave it there. I just thank you all so much indeed for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.